Good morning, Programming 12. We are going to be changing our programs from last lesson. So we have a basic kind of chat program. I mean, it's not really, it's a hello program. It sends a hello over a network. So we're going to add in a little bit of string manipulation stuff so that we can type a message. So part of this unit is going to introduce you to strings, which are a very important part of computer programming. And we talked about last lesson how strings are really how the internet is made. Like a web page is just a string of text. It's also a big component of AP Computer Science, which you might take next year. So it's a good little preview of that topic. It's just a lot of good stuff going on for strings. We've seen a little bit of strings, so we'll use a few new things for strings today. Probably not going to touch the networking stuff too much today because I want to go forward not too fast. I know how much extra work you guys have all of a sudden, so we're just going to add in this new component to make it so you can actually type a message and send it across. So let's see. We're still going to be using the. I'm not 100% sure that in your example you have string outgoing and incoming. So I'll just mention those just in case you don't have both of those variables. I think you do, but just in case, don't forget to have these in here as well. I'm just going to do this in the client so we can focus on that, but the same changes will need to be made in the server as well. But you could almost copy and paste them over. Not quite, but just about. So the deal um, with this is that I'm going to be, I can't, might be a little bit different. I think I had mouse pressed actually instead of key pressed. But what we're going to do is we're going to be adding in a key pressed function where I'm going to change it so that instead of just writing hello, we record the key strokes that we have. So have your old program open and be ready to add this in. So if it was a mouse pressed, you can get rid of it and replace it with a key pressed now. And right now it's just, say hello. It's fairly boring. Um, and yeah, we can go and change this up. So instead, what I like to do is kind of build an outgoing message to send. So whenever I have a key press that's not the enter key, then I'm going to build my message. And then when I press enter, I'll send my message. So I'm going to have something like this. So every time you press a key, the processing stores the key in the key variable. You'll notice it highlights it. It's kind of like mouse X or something like that, like it's a built-in variable. So I can check to see if it was a particular key. So I can say, hey, was it the enter key? Well, that means I need to send my message. So if I'm sending my message, I'm going to say, just like I previously said, my client dot write outgoing. And then I want to clear the message because I don't, once I press enter, I want to be able to enter a new message. So I'll clear it. So I'll say outgoing equals nothing now. But otherwise, I would like to build my message. I'd like to add key to whatever the message is currently. So I'm going to say if it wasn't the enter key, then I'll say outgoing equals outgoing plus key. So outgoing is a string, and just so you know, key is actually not a string. It is a character. A character is like a single letter or number, or symbol of some kind. However, if you add just about anything to a string, Java knows and processing knows to convert the whole thing to a string. The string wins if you concatenate a bunch of things together, and it's got a string in there. Then the string is gonna win. So this becomes part of the string. So this is okay. You'll see how it works, but it's not perfect. And I'll just go make the change over to the server as well, wherever the server is. Actually, I got some other stuff in here. Is that right? I guess I have basically the same thing on the server already. Okay, so let's run these. I have to run the server first, and then I run the client. So we'll get these out and about, and should be good. So now I can go over here, and on this one I can start typing hi there and press enter, and sure enough, hi there gets sent across. Well, I'm not just sending it to myself at the moment, but hey, it got one program to the next. Over here, I can also say yo yo yo, and it sends yo 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 over. I will mention that I've changed the location of where I'm printing the strings, just so you know. So I'm not sure if I did this previously in the last lesson. So just in case you're getting the words overlapping, I am now printing the outgoing and incoming messages to slightly different heights, just so I can see them being typed out. So that's nice. That works out. But check this out. There is a problem with all this. Watch this. What if I try to type a capital letter? I'm going to press Shift. What happened? Shift is being typed. It's being typed and it's showing up as a square. And watch if I press backspace. It adds more squares. What is this nonsense? So it turns out that all the keys, including backspace, here's F1, here's escape. Oh, I guess escape closes it. But all the keys that you don't normally expect to type stuff, they actually produce a character. And it's the software's job to respond. So you might think of backspace as something that deletes, it goes backwards and replaces, but it's actually just a character that it produces as well. So we have to program our software to respond to backspace and also to like deal with shift and other keys because otherwise they're just key presses like anything else. So backspace is pretty easy. You can just say something like, else if key equals backspace. This is the backspace character. Like we can't actually type the backspace in our program, so processing has a constants, the final int that represents this that character. So we can check, hey, did the person type backspace? If they did, we want to like delete the last thing that they typed. So for example, over here, I typed a hi there, so I want to delete the E. So how do you delete something? So outgoing is our string. We like to chop off the last thing. So it turns out that there's a piece of a function, I guess I should say, or a method in Java where you can take a substring from an existing string. So here's outgoing. That's a string, right? I could say dot substring. And I can type in some numbers here. And these are the index numbers of what I want. So I can type in, say, 0, comma 1. If I did that, that would give me the first character in the string. So if I said hello there, that would give me the H. If I wanted to get HI, I would do 0, comma 2. And you might be wondering, what's going on? Why 0, 2? So basically, this is where it starts, and this is where it ends, but not quite including this number. So this would get characters 0 and 1, which is high. If I wanted to get high TH, I could do, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it is. Oh, no, it wouldn't be because that would be the 4 is the H. And if I did that, that would be high space T. So then 5 and so on. Like I can type in numbers. Ultimately, though, you know what actually I want. I want to go to the end of the string minus 1, right? So how do I get the end of the string? That's going to be the string's name dot length. So I can say outgoing. I'm going to expand this a bit so we can see what's happening. Dot length. And then I got to do minus 1. And then this doesn't actually change the string itself. This returns that string, so I can then set outgoing to that string. So this is how backspace actually works. I am going to take the existing string when I detect a backspace and then cut it to be from the beginning to 1 less than the end. So let's see if that works. I'm going to go ahead and run it. I guess I think I'm already running the server, so I can run this again. Oh, I made a mistake. What does it say? Found an extra brace. I have an extra brace? I don't have, there we go. Okay, so let's try running that. Okay, so now if I type in hello and I press backspace, it actually changes it to remove it. If I press it again, it'll cut off the next one, the next one, next one. I bet if I press backspace here, I'll get a problem though. I'll get index out of bounds because now the length was 0. So there's a little bit of error checking still to do so the person doesn't crash the program. Probably some kind of additional constraint to make sure that the length of the string isn't 0. If I press backspace and there's nothing to backspace, that's going to crash it. So I'm just going to add in, if I press the backspace key and outgoing dot length is greater than 0. So that'll prevent me from crashing. Oh, and I turned off my server, so I'll run the server first, and I run this. How's that working? Now, if I press backspace, I still get the backspace character, which is a little awkward, so we can get rid of that too. So that solves the backspace problem. Now we can do the weird characters. Like for example, if I press Shift A, I don't want the Shift character to show up. So here's what we're gonna do. So I'm only gonna add key if it's a valid letter. And what I can do is I can make a string of the valid letters or characters, not just letters. So at the very top of my program, I'm going to add in string valid. I'm going to make a whole new string that's going to contain all the valid letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. And then, of course, I'll do the capital letters, although technically this isn't necessary, but I'm just going to do it anyways. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You don't really need me to sing this. J, K, it's for me. L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Hey, Ma, what'd you learn today? Wait, what? Can't even make sense. Hey, son or daughter, what did you learn today at computer programming? Wow, we learned to sing the alphabet. Woohoo! I'm also going to put in a space, because space is a valid character. I want to have all the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. I want to have all these symbols. Let's do a crescendo straight down. You know, I'm not going to get too carried away. Question mark, punctuation. Oh, you can't put in the quote, actually. That'll cause some problems. Won't talk too much about the quote. Yeah, just put in some things here. Don't put in the quote. That's a long story about why that doesn't work, but putting the double quote's not good. Anyways, that's a pretty good set right there. These are now going to be characters that I'm like, yeah, you can type these in. Notice it doesn't include the shift and the backspace and all this kind of stuff. So now what I can do is I can say, hey, if it's not an enter and it's not a backspace, then I'll check, hey, if key is inside of valid. So what I can say is valid dot contains. Spelling hard. So the deal is that valid can check to see if there's a string inside of it. So it will return true or false. Now you notice that it's highlighting in red. It's because it requires you to send it a string. And that's not a string, that's a character. Remember we talked about that? So what can we do to fix that? We can append, we can add key to a empty string, and that'll promote it to be a string. So this is something that all strings can do. They can check to see if there's a substring inside of them. So we'll check to see if the key is inside of valid. If it is, we'll go ahead and add it on there. So let's run it. So now I can type in hello. I can fix my spelling mistakes. And I can type in capital letters, and you see that I don't get the weird boxes and stuff. I'll still get boxes if I type a key that makes, like, if I, oh, I guess not. I just can't type in any characters that aren't in that string of valid characters. So I guess that solves that problem pretty well. And if I press enter, it should send it over to my friendly server over here. Now, the only thing left to do for today's lesson is just to mirror these changes over here. You can pretty much copy and paste them. I can just copy and paste this over to the server, and I can grab my valid string, and I can bring it over to the server as well. And then they'll both be able to do this lovely stuff. Oh yes, there is a problem. I guess I can't quite copy and paste over, because look, it's my client.write. That's not how you write from a server. It's my server.write. I think. Isn't it called my server? Oh no, I've spelled it poorly. Let's rename that right now. I don't know if that's how I did it in my previous example. I kind of don't remember, but so I'll just rename it. Oh, what? Rename all the servers to my server That makes more sense. Good old camel case. Ah, everything's looking up now. So I can run the server, and I can run the client, and I can type. I can type and fix typos. Oh, what? Hey, I can't type the letter Y. Why is that? I probably forgot it. Ah, well, at least it's an easy fix. So there you go. Anyways, folks, I hope that was pretty clear. Try to get it so you can type the letter Y as well. And any other letters I've missed. Once you've done that, you're done for today. You did all the things you need to do. Thank you so much for all the hard work you're putting in all your classes. It's super complicated to be doing all this online learning stuff, I'm sure, for you guys. And I hope this has been at least fun. On Wednesday's class, I'd love to set up a little, I don't know, like I'm gonna publish my IP address and I'm gonna run the server, and then you can run your client and send messages to me. I think that'd be pretty fun. I don't know, you'll be anonymous, so that'll be amusing. I did this when I did this lesson last year, 2019. I put this up and I had students in room 322. I had on my screen on the projector, I had the server, and then on everybody's desktop, they were running the client, and they put messages up, and it was just when Endgame came out, and I got spoiled for Endgame, and so did probably a bunch of people because people put up spoilers, and the thing was, I wasn't actually. I wouldn't have known because people were just putting up fake spoilers. It was like all these people, died. This person died. That person died. And I knew people were putting up like silly spoilers, but it wasn't so much the person that put up, the people that actually died in Endgame. It was the person that reacted. I was like, no, and I was like, well, now I know that one's the spoiler. So I got spoiled for Endgame doing this lesson last year. I'm not gonna spoil Endgame for you in case you haven't seen it because I I don't know why. But now I'm just rambling, so I'll let you get going. Thanks again for all your hard work. Bye, everybody.